Albany VA Medical Center was under investigation, Part 35. November 27, 2006. The Albany VA Medical Center gave him the instructions about drugs. They didn't tell me he will need my help after his release to manage the drugs. So I discovered the hard way this morning because Ash started to have problems. Real problems. So it was not only inside a week from his release. It was way before that. See, he was released on November 24, 2006. And already on November 27, 2006, he was having problems. Ashley started to have problems, real problems. So I ran to the kitchen and gave him a triple dose of lactulose. This is what they did at the intensive care unit when he was in coma. They gave him intensive doses of lactulose, a triple dose, through his nose. So I knew it was safe. I know Ash is very intelligent, and that's why I was letting him managing the drugs. But I realized even if you're a genius, Ashley had the IQ of 169. If you are weak, then you cannot manage that. The ammonia was eating the brain again. You need to recover first, and then you can manage your drugs. Ash is so tired because he was having nausea for 3 hours for about 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And I just realized to have nausea in this case means his ammonia level is high. In fact, the Albany VA Medical Center did another mistake. Ashley was on absolutely no salt diet. And now, because like I told you previously, they finally changed his diet from high protein diet to no salt diet at the end of his hospitalization to hell. Ashley was on now he was on absolutely no salt diet. And now one of his drugs is salt-based because his system lacked too much of it. So don't ask me what to understand from what the Albany VA Medical Center is doing. They sure don't know themselves. So, by the way, I'm so glad and happy I don't have to beg a nurse to give him lactulose anymore. I knew it was what he needed this morning, and if I would go to the hospital, I would most likely have to beg for lactulose until Ash would be at least in coma or maybe dead. All I have to do is give him. Yes, the reason I didn't run to the VA hospital is I know there is a big likelihood I would have to beg for lactulose until he would be coma like it happened before at the Albany VA hospital. I had to beg Diane M. Ekman, EHMANN, and she had to go coma at the intensive care unit to get his lactulose like I was requesting. Update December 31st, 2013. Ash was released on November 24th and he turned yellow on November 27th and his arm and legs were shaking. Was a sign his liver was shutting down 3 days after being released from the Albany VA Medical Center. Even though I didn't trust the hospitals anymore, I had to call the ambulance because it was very hard for me to see him in the States. He didn't want to go. I had to go against his will, unfortunately, and it was sad. It was very hard for me to see Ashley in the state. I couldn't take it anymore to see him that weak, and he could not eat, and his kidneys were on their way to shut down. And again, the dialysis was not even offered. It was not even offered by doctor. L'image they say, like I already explained previously, even though I called the Congressman John McHugh's office and they called the hospitals, and the dialysis center was only 2 miles from the hospital, and part of it, that was the Massena Memorial Hospital, by the way. So I was the third woman becoming a widow, even though I was sad for Mrs. Abramson because he died simply because they did not bring the oxygen tank on time, so he had time to end up at the ICU in coma and die there. But it turned out that I was becoming a widow myself. In other words, Mr. Abramson, he needed to be on oxygen tank. This was a non-fact. And they didn't bring the oxygen tank. It turned out that I was myself becoming a widow. Thanks for listening. I usually do not mention to please subscribe and please talk about my channel to the people you care about and those who can benefit from it, but because it's obvious to me, I didn't think I had to say that.